Good morning, it's Wednesday, May 21st. This is your Canadian Prairie weather story. I'm meteorologist Andrew Pritchard. Wednesdays are going to be the new regular routine going forward here for these midweek Canadian Prairie weather updates. We got your near-term weather risks right now. Light rain showers moving through the area. We're going to be trending warmer and drier for the last 10 days of May or so, but we do have a chance for some rain and storms to return in early June. A pretty consistent signal for that. So a pretty springtime progression there from cool and rainy, warmer and drier, back to a rainy pattern here over the next 15 days or so. All thanks in part to these big storm systems that move across North America. We've seen this one here making a journey over the last 3 days or so. Really started here in the southwest U.S. and is now lifted up into parts of the upper Midwest, and even getting some of that rain lifting into parts of the Canadian Prairie. We've got the severe thunderstorms here in the warm sector off to the south, and then again, just some rain being wrapped around the backside of this storm system. And we can see that here with the rain. The radar, the heavier rain here in parts of central Alberta, west of Edmonton, down toward Calgary, maybe some heavier showers where we get some influence for the terrain. And then back across Saskatchewan and southern portions of Manitoba. This is really pretty light rain in most areas here. Overcast, low cloud deck, some light rain, some mist at times, and maybe some heavier showers within that. Temperatures across the region generally in the mid-single digits. A lot of 4, 5, and 6 degree readings here until you get into parts of southern Alberta, where you've got some 3-degree readings there, and then southern portions of Manitoba, where you're a bit warmer there. We got temperatures anywhere from maybe 8, 9, 10 degrees Celsius there. Looking at the forecast for precipitation over the next couple of days, we'll start with the NAM model, and we'll run it through the day here today. This is Wednesday into Wednesday night. This is now your Thursday. We're seeing conditions clearing up across the region. Another little area of low pressure does kind of sneak in with some light rain in parts of southern Alberta, southern Saskatchewan as we get into Friday and Saturday. Not all that significant here on the rainfall totals. We're talking about spotty areas here, anywhere from 5 to 10 millimeters, and some of the higher terrain, we could get some influence there across the Rockies and then down in parts of southwest Saskatchewan as well. Maybe just some locally higher amounts, but generally in the flatter terrain where we've got ag going on, it's going to be pretty light, trace to 5 millimeters over the next few days. We take the next 10 days, not a whole lot of change. We get additional chances for some light rain across the prairie at times, but you're really seeing the hot spots here, anywhere from 10 to 15, maybe 15 to 20 millimeters here on the high end over the next 10 days, and that's going to be found mostly across portions of central into southern Alberta, maybe far southwestern Saskatchewan. We definitely need the rainfall in those areas, but central and southern Manitoba, much of central and southern Saskatchewan, we're talking about little to no rain, up to maybe 5 millimeters over the next 10 days. Now, we take a wider look the next 10 days. Again, we're just kind of missing out. The pattern is reset. You see heavier rainfall across parts of the central and southern U.S., where the storm track is a bit more active. And you also see some heavy moisture being deposited across coastal portions of British Columbia from the Pacific. Now, as I add in the first 5 days of June, we do start to bring some moisture back in. Another storm system forecast to bring a push of moisture to the region here as we get on the other side of June 1st or so. And we'll take a look at what that looks like, this evolution here. This is the current 500 millibar heights pattern. Again, kind of got this maturing, kind of past maturity, upper level trough across the central United States, brought all the rain and severe weather to parts of the southern U.S. It is helping to influence the light rain across the prairies right now. The pattern does reset, though. As we head into the weekend, we're going to see ridging building across the prairie. This is higher atmospheric pressure. We'll bring in quieter and warmer conditions with areas of low pressure kind of flanking North America. We've got the departing low over the Atlantic, and we've got our next storm system here in the Gulf of Alaska. We've got deep upper level low, fast jet stream flow coming around the base of that. So as I didn't mean to do that, we want to actually animate this and take it through the next 10 to 15 days. You'll see the progression. Again, here's the ridge over the weekend into early next week, really reinforced as we head through the early part of next week. But here's what we got. May 28, 29, 30, that next area of low pressure, you see the lines tightly packed together here between this area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, higher atmospheric pressure here across the western U.S. The tightly packed lines here, that is very fast jet stream flow blasting in here across the Pacific Northwest, British Columbia, and then eventually into the prairies. We can see that here. This is your jet stream winds as we get into June 1st. You see that trough, that kind of area of winds lifting into southern portions of Alberta. That's going to make a big change in the precipitation forecast across the region as we get into the early part of June. And we've got good agreement on that. I'll show you here in a moment, but just kind of verbatim, the precipitation trends. We got those showers in the area today. Those will wind down for the most part over the next 48 hours. I mentioned that chance for some lighter rain In southern Alberta and far southwestern Saskatchewan during the day on Friday. That pretty much brings rainfall to an end for the next 7 days or so. So pretty dry for the weekend. We're going to be dry running through the early part of next week. This is Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Getting into now Thursday, May 29th and 30th. This is when we start to see that pattern break down. We see that first push of moisture, that first area of low pressure come in around May 30th, May 31st. We see another one try to swing in right here. This would be about June 3rd and June 4th. So side by side, the European on the left, GFS on the right. This is the jet stream winds at the mid-levels, 500 millibars on Friday, May 30th. You see good agreement there. This big patch of winds blasting in from the left side of the image. That is, again, the very fast flow coming across the Pacific should race in across the prairie, kicking off an area of low pressure or two, bringing some shower and thunderstorm activity back into the region. Your temperature progression is pretty clear as well. We've got cooler temperatures in the area now. Higher pressure brings warmer temperatures over the last 10 days of May or so. I really should say the last 4 or 5 days of May before we then see the temperatures start to trend back cooler if we get that arrival of a couple of storm systems here, kind of coinciding with that transition back toward a rainier pattern. Will bring those temperatures back just a bit, but some summer-like warmth, at least early summer-like warmth here on the table as we get into the last 5 days of May. So a high of 12 today in Calgary, all the way up to a high of 24 by the time we get to Sunday. A very sharp warm-up here across the prairie. Very similar look in Edmonton, high of 11 today, 26 by the time we get to next Monday. Saskatoon, 13 today, mid-20s as well by the time we get to the early part of next week. Very similar looks here across the board. Regina, 10 today, 20 for Sunday. A little more steady here as you look at Winnipeg, but still 19, 20 degrees today. We'll be up into the mid to upper 20s by the time we get to the end of May. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll talk to you again next Wednesday as we kind of reassess this potential transition back toward a rainier pattern in the beginning of June.